My journey has been such a long journey from a little boy. As a little boy and as a youngster, having this aspiration to become a musician.
Let me hear you make some noise for Edwin Martin!
My journey has started and my roots have started from this area, stemming from this area, Belhar. And it started, and part of it being on the other side of Belhar, growing up with my gran on that side and on this side with my parents. And as a little boy and as a youngster, having this aspiration to become a musician. However, like any other little kid, you know, coming from school, I would come to this field after school with my buddies, running with a soccer ball, coming into the field, and we play soccer.
I know you for years from a little child, growing up right in front of me. I mean, I'm currently now, what, almost 40, turning almost 40, and I know him my entire life. So he grew up basically in front of me.
So, the guys, as a young little boy, when my friends and I used to come and play soccer, there used to be a hole that was cut in the fence right over here. And when we were unable to get into the field, if the field was locked, at times we would come through this hole or just take a shortcut to get through this hole so that we could play soccer on the field. So as a young boy, we used to play soccer on this field, keeping ourselves active as youngsters. Walking down this road, most of us growing up in the area, kicking a soccer ball on our way to the field, riding our bicycles up and down on the streets of Belhar. And I mean, this is a very, I would say, it's a very sentimental spot for me, because this is where I grew up as a little kid. And growing up as a little boy, you know, and in an area faced with many adversities in this area and challenges in this area as a teenager, I think as a youngster and as the youth of this area, you look for the ways that give you hope and give you something to look forward to. And music was one of those things that gave me an aspiration to look through and look forward to something. And like I said, as a little boy, I had a big dream, a big vision, knowing who I am inside of me. And that has been my vision all along. And I'm so grateful that it has become a reality. And like I say, guys, just looking down this road, there's so much memories for me down this road alone. In my bedroom in the morning, the train would be coming past and the windows would be rattling in my room because of the train coming past, living right next to the railway line. And these are all things I can remember from a little boy. At primary school, I had a music teacher called Mrs. Carolus. And Mrs. Carolus was one of the teachers that saw potential in me. I was a shy little boy who wasn't really that popular at primary school at the time. And I knew I had this inside of me and this God-given talent inside of me. However, I was very shy to show this to the public. And that made me worried. I didn't want anybody to know I can sing, I've got this musical ability.
When I came to the school at Boston in 1997, and I came in as the music teacher, and he joined up in the choir. And what I noticed was a very shy young man, but who showed lots of interest. He always hung around the piano, so as close as possible, watched things. And when I noticed that he had the potential, I actually said to him, why didn't you take this further? Why don't you do something with music? Music is something that can transcend so much. And he always used to ask questions and he used to listen. And I am very gratified to see where he has got with his music one now at present time.
And one day she singled me out and she had a talk with me, and she actually motivated me by saying, you know what, you have something extraordinary, you have something special, and I believe in you. And it just took that one person to tell me that they believe in me. And that is what motivated me to become who I am today.
I try with my choirs to try and do as much different music as possible, with contemporary music, classical, different styles of music. And in that way, you actually expose the children to more styles of music. So when I see somebody who has now gone out and has become Mr. Music, it is very gratifying for me to see that that little part that I've played in his life, where I've told him that you have the potential to do something, you'll be able to take this further. Do not worry about the shyness, because the music goes past all that. And for me to see out of all that, that he has become Mr. Music is absolutely amazing.
He's really a goal-driven guy. He knows what he wants, and he won't stop at anything until he gets the satisfaction that he achieved what he sets his mind to.
I have an immense respect for Mr. Music because of his determination. He's not only here to sing, he's not only here to play an instrument, he's here to learn the ins and outs of the industry. And as an individual, he's made it so far. In my capacity as a business, in many respects a business partner, and in other respects as a friend, I can say he's one of my best friends.
Guys, thank you so much for allowing us into this space. We've got a great music teacher there. I'm not the only person that's come from this school, came from this school, come to my hands. So what I'm going to do for you, just so that you guys can hear a little something before I leave. So I'm going to do something small for you, something you guys will know. Everybody knows Justin Bieber, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to take a small little something from one of his songs before I leave here today, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than just your body. Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than just your body, baby. So this is the school, the primary school where my musical journey all started, in primary school, Boston Primary. This is the playground. When I was a little boy in grade 3, we used to come to this playground. This is where the grade 1s and 2s would normally be. But we come around to this playground. The wall you will see is right behind you. And right behind you, the wall, right against this wall here, there used to be a vending machine where we would come and buy some other things if we weren't able to get to the tuck shop. The tuck shop was closed. And there's so much great memories for me at the school, not just with music, but sport. I swam, I was swimming in the swimming team here. I ran cross country. I played cricket at school. So yeah, for a young little boy from those years of 1997 up until 1999 before leaving here, was quite a valuable journey for me as Edwin Martin before I became Mr. Music. So this is Boston Primary, my primary school. Very proud to be a student of Boston Primary School. It really started, I would say, from primary school, and then the journey grew from there. I got scouted by other mentors in the industry, Keith Derbyshire being one of them. Following him as well, looking at his journey, being a role model to me, how he played a role model to other musicians in the Belhar area, and giving me that inspiration that I also want to be one of those one day.
It is say around about 6 years that we have been working together, and the experiences that I have with Mr. Music is remarkable because he's a hard-working guy, and that is what I like.
From there, I eventually started performing in live bands, doing many shows around Cape Town. I've done the Grahamstown Arts Festival as well. I've done shows in Cape Town, all over Cape Town, and influential big shows that I've been doing over those years. I also started out by singing pop groups singing pop music in pop groups, and singing things like I grew up with, Boys to Men, As Yet. Those were the kind of things in my day, and it eventually led to singing jazz in live bands because I had a strong passion for live band music. I started groups at school through my high school career as well, where I started pop groups. There was a time that people might remember when the first Coca-Cola pop stars came out. There was a group called 101, and this group was a major influence in my career because I started a group at school called 24/7 with 5 vocalists of the same dynamic, and this group became quite popular at school and still had my live bands as well. At a later stage, I then started working and collaborating with live bands, and I had a group called Unique Attraction. Well, before they became Unique Attraction, I had Eastbound as well as Unique Attraction. One day I had the idea to fuse these two. One was a vocal group, one was jazz band. Alright. And when I fused the two, we created Here We Are, which basically then created the platform, I would say, for my music career, because Here We Are was the song that had the high rotation on radio. In 2010, he made a hit single, and it was on rotation for I think about 8 weeks, 7 weeks, and for the time that like you said, I'm in the industry, and the way I look at the industry now, and the way he's coming into the industry again, as there's going to be work for him, because he's not taking the normal route. You see,
I worked for taxi radio, sorry for Landon, for a long time, and look, I try my best to get Mr. Music in, if not him, at least one of his artists at least once a month in the duration of the time that I've been with taxi radio, because of their personality, because of his work ethic.
And that is one thing I must say, he always looks at different angles as he to coming in and making a difference. Because as like I mean, we're friends, and he's not one to conform to the norm. You always want to just take it that, you always get that one friend that just, you must always just take it that notch up, and he's like that. The challenges that many people face in the
music industry regarding a record label is that many a time in a record label they would want you to do what they want you to do as an artist, and as an artist it's not always something that you want to do. So I felt that I also think that there are certain challenges and loopholes in the industry that I saw by being in the industry, reading through contracts, wanting to be signed up by other record labels, deciding, you know what, I'm going to learn the industry from a different perspective so that I can close these loopholes and rather do things the way I would like to do them.
Like I said previously, is very much goal driven, and for me we as a businessman, he knows what he wants and when he wants it to be done. And I can say now for sure that when it comes to crunch time, it's crunch time. Because we don't, for the long time that I've been working with him, it wasn't an easy ride, but he taught me valuable lessons in the industry.
I think how I plan on expanding UA Entertainment is like I did with the 10 Top Talent Search 2014-2015, gave my business a lot of media coverage as well, which obviously gained expansion. But I think it's by developing other artists and also my team going forward, so that I can broaden each of those artists that are within UA Entertainment's careers, not only to just broaden their careers, but also to expand UA Entertainment. And so the Cape Town Talent Search is a concept that I came up with myself for singers, dancers, and rappers and poets, which was basically a talent search for talent in Cape Town. I was a judge in the competition and a mentor as well in the competition. I emphasize on mic control. It's vitally important because I need to be able to make out what you're saying. What's the point of you standing on the stage and rapping and showing how cool you can flow and no one understood anything you said? So basically it was there to give the opportunities that I never had.
The Cape Town, firstly, let me just say that right now I'm currently a judge and mentor for the Your Slam Factor talent show at Polsmoor Prison. And for me, it's more or less the same concept. We need ground roots talent shows that expresses all talents, not just music. And if music, different facets of music is very necessary to be a part of Mr. Music's talent show and be a judge or in any capacity to be a part of it was really, really great. Really good, well organized, great acts, and some pretty good venues as well.
UA Entertainment is there to become a youth pioneer, I would say, in the music industry, making significant changes going forward in the music industry. And I think by expanding the credibility, I would say, of the new artists coming into the industry, it will automatically gain more business from my side for the actual business, and also create prosperity, I would say, and longevity for UA Entertainment. My plans going forward would be to focus on the awareness and the marketing of UA Entertainment at a much larger scale to ensure that I achieve my end goal. And my end goal is to be one of the most not only credible companies in the entertainment industry, but literally to become one of the monopolies within the industry.
There were a few gigs that I did with Edwin. I helped him here, and I helped Mr. Music here and there with his event that he had, running for the talent show he had running for the past 2 or 3 years. It was just a great pleasure working with him. Obviously, I mean, for someone as determined as he is, you see how the business grows. Just for I'd say about for the past 6 months, he's really been in studio working on his own stuff. But generally, he makes things happen. He doesn't sit around waiting for bookings.
as I have been doing many collaborations, as some of you might know, some of the collaborations that I have done, namely recently as well with Byron Clark, also the guys that are now Signature SA, you've got Lauren Jonas and the rest of the band. By going forward, I would be furthering my business by not just moving forward with more collaborations, but by developing young musicians.
What he's been doing for the time period of silence. Cape Town needs to be ready.
I just wanna feel your lips against my lips tonight.
Your lips against my lips tonight.
I just wanna feel your hand caress my neck tonight.
Hand against my neck tonight.
I just wanna feel your body close to mine tonight.
Body close to mine tonight.
I just wanna feel your body, mind and soul tonight. So my new single, there is a single that I'm currently campaigning, Love You One. And if some of you don't know what it means, it's a Xhosa name for a pretty girl and very good looking girl, you know. So the storyline regarding that is, you know, like every other guy, you know, taking a walk down the street on his way to start his day, and whilst walking to start his day, sees a pretty girl. And I'm sure some of you might know, when you see that pretty girl as a guy, come on guys, you're going to turn your head at least once. You're not going to just look past, you will turn around. So I think, yeah, that's a short sneak peek about what Love You One is about.
Look, I think what a lot of people take away from Cape Town music is the presence of jazz in some way, shape or form. So even though this is a house song, you still feel that strong jazz attributes that is so signature in Mr. Music or in his music per se. But just something new, house music, guys. When Mr. Music played this track for me, there was no doubt about it. If he was not going to get someone else to collaborate with him, it was going to be me, hands down. It's going to be a hit.
My baby, and she whispers in my ear like she feels me.
Look, guys, co-written, yes, but I just want to be clear. It's Edwin's baby. He wrote the most of it. In fact, he wrote such a great hook as well, which I thought was really, really great. So I would say that this is Edwin's baby. Yes, I did write my verse and I did some ad-libs and so on, but generally this is the new Mr. Music. Besides Love You One that I'm releasing with Mr. Music, November I'm releasing my first single of the next album, but we're going to do it in the EP style first. It's called Celebrate Your Body. And guys, there's a PG on me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you guys can expect some material from me. Also, if you'd like to catch me in Cape Town, I perform at the Cape Cultural Collective every last Friday of each month. And then I'm also, as I said, a judge and mentor for the Slam Factor Paulsmore Prison Talent Show. So please follow that site as well. That's Slam, urslamfactor.com for details. Our next event will be at the Artscape Theatre on the 25th of June. So come and check it out, guys, to see what Byron Clark is up to as well.
Rolling down the street on a Friday morning, thoughts running through my mind on my way to start my day.
Basically, my campaigning around Love You One is that I'm telling a story from my own perspective, and the thing about me as an artist and Love You One, it's telling the truth. And I think that in my right as an artist, when I write music, and I feel that any artist that writes music, you know, truth is always the way to capture people. I mean, I'm not really one to write figurative stories. These are things, you know, as a young guy when I used to walk out there and being a singer, playing guitar, girls used to like those things. So, and at the time, yeah, so it's basically telling a story regarding a guy on his way, spend his day and meets a nice girl, and from there he tells his story by her spending the day with him. We are looking to release the single anywhere between the 30th of June and the 1st of July. So you can be expecting the single between 30th of June and the 1st of July.
Awesome.
Obviously up until that point there will be other media campaigning up until that point.
Again, I want to elaborate on the character of Mr. Music as a business music mogul. That's the goal. The goal is not just making an album and releasing a single and putting it to radio. We are in the influence, or we support independence, independent artists. Edwin Martin's company is an independent business. So in that sense, what I can guarantee you guys is the finance and everything else that he is investing into this campaign. It's a must. There's no turning back now. We are going to produce the single, we're going to finish the single, we're going to release a full campaign. And I think this is the problem with a lot of artists in Cape Town. You create the single, it sounds good, you send it to radio. There's no campaign plan in place. And I think the reason why Mr. Music took so long to get things going was because he was filling in all the dots and the cues, making sure that the campaign release date is ready. As opposed to us doing I like to call it prepaid and pay as you go. The pay as you goes are those who just release music for the fun of it. We are serious about this. Mr. Music is serious about his career, his business and this campaign. So you guys can definitely expect something very soon.
Mr. Music really came from the fact that all the things that I've been involved within music and all my achievements in music, on radio, television interviews, music videos, this is how I became Mr. Music, because it was adopted from everything that I have achieved in this industry. And also, I also think it comes from the fact that, you know, I'm very unique in that way where I don't do things the way everybody else does them. And also, the aspect is that I would come from not just a musical aspect, but from a business side. So what really makes me, I would say, Mr. Music is the fact that I have multifacets of ability in music, but the thing is that I've always incorporated that with being a businessman in the entertainment and music industry. And I think that is what makes me Mr. Music.
Less than falling in love.
Just keep up doing what you're doing.
I think as a musician, one needs to be true to yourself. You need to be true to your style.
You've got the determination, you've got the talent.